welcome to the Tournament Center. I'm Randy Buehler here with Brian David Marshall. It's time for some more deck tech. This time we're standing with Pro Tour Honolulu champion Mark Herberholz.
Hey.
Keezy is sitting in first place in this tournament. He's been in first place for a couple of rounds now. Almost clinched top 8, but not quite.
Yeah, need one more win.
One more win, and so now tell us about the deck that you brought into battle this weekend.
Okay, it's a black, blue, white control deck that centers around mystical teachings to search out a lot of silver bullets.
Okay.
You have your...
this is the package here?
Yeah, this is the package. You can also get some cancels, but you have like your Haunting Hymn and your Extirpate versus control decks, your Disenchant against Stormbind and Wild Pair, and then your Pull from Eternity against Aeon Chroniclers and Greater Gargadon.
Sure.
And then you have the Sudden Death Isolation and the Tendrils against creature decks. The Tendrils may look a little weird when you check the deck list because I have 3 Swamps, but I got the Uborg Tomb of Yawgmoth to combo with them.
Wow,
it's a
so
late
you're running
game
double
life game.
Tendrils off of just 3 Swamps. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, this combo, this has been the story of the tournament for me.
Yeah.
I mean, just so many people are running this Uborg Tendrils or Corruption combo. It seems really powerful.
Yeah. And
now, only the one Teferi.
Yeah, only the one Teferi. Like,
people call the deck Teferi. That seems like the guy everyone lives in fear of.
He's really just like an insurance plan. He just makes sure that your opponent doesn't do anything to mess you up when you're trying to win the game. And I figured that out. Like, you don't really want 2 of them. Like, he's not even the best creature yet. Usually I just get a Draining Welk against any...
I have 2 Draining Welks is more than I've seen in most of these.
Because you just establish control with like a Damnation or maybe a Teferi's Moat or something, and you just want to get a way to kill him, and Draining Welk's usually the best because it flies past their guys.
Okay.
And you also want to counter whatever relevant spell they have once you got the game locked up, basically.
Makes sense.
So Mark, you said Teferi's Moat. And I think that this is kind of interesting where we have the Temporal Isolation, the Pull from Eternity, the Disenchant, the Teferi's Moat.
It's a lot of white.
The white seems to be a route that not a lot of players have gone with the blue-black base deck. What happened?
Well, I was testing the deck a lot with red, and I had like Voids and Hellkites, just like pretty much everyone else. And I found that I was losing, like, I wasn't really losing to White Weenie, but it was a pretty close matchup, and I was losing to Mono Red, so I wanted something to beat them. And Spectral Force was also a problem. So we were already sideboarding in white, like as a 4th color in that deck for Pull from Eternity and Disenchant. And then, so I just thought, take out the red, put in the white. You get Teferi's Moat, which a mono red deck, their only answer is Word of Seizing. They can only attack you for 1 turn with that. And then you get Temporal Isolation, which is a great answer to Spectral Force, which the deck is having problems with. And then you get to keep basically all the same cards you had before. And Pull from Eternity is already just a great main deck card for the Mirror because they have Aeon Chronicler, and it's usually a pretty big problem.
Now this is a totally different strategy from the one you ran in Honolulu.
Yeah.
Right, the Heasy Street deck that you used to win the Pro Tour is all beat down and 1-drops and 2-drops and...
Yeah.
What's up?
I decided I want to make it a little difficult on myself, think a little harder.
Okay. Do you prefer beat down or control? Is the one that you feel more comfortable playing, or...?
I mean, control decks are usually more fun just because you have a lot more going on.
Okay.
It's like it's easier to outplay your opponents, whereas the beatdown decks are just like the I hope decks. Like,
okay.
I hope you don't draw Wrath this game. You know, I hope whatever.
So it's just look at the field, figure out which one's the right call.
Like in Hawaii or whatever, the beatdown deck was unexpected. And obviously, I won it, so it was pretty good choice for the format.
How do you feel about this deck? Sort of, you've played. We're about 3/4 of the way through this Pro Tour. Obviously, it's been doing really well for you. Would you change anything? Was the field what you expected, or?
I thought there was going to be a lot more White Weenie, and there wasn't. So I might like take a little more of the anti-creature cards out of the sideboard.
Okay.
But a lot of the other Teferi decks are setting into a creature planning for the Mirror.
Right.
So now I just like keeping all my removal.
They're bringing in Plague Slivers.
Yeah, I side out like my control cards, and then and then I have a better late game against them because I have two Urza's Factories. The sideboard is. Here, my anti-beatdown cards are 2 Mags of the Tabernacle, 2 Tendrils of Corruption, a Teferi's Moat, Careful Consideration so you can find your Wrath and your Uborg, and another Uborg. So I can go up to 4 with the 4 Tendrils.
Sure.
It's that was the most important thing in testing, was just like if you got off of Tendrils against a beatdown deck, they usually couldn't come back.
But then you split them, half in the sideboard, half in the main.
Yeah.
So you were expecting to have to play some control mirrors then.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then against control, I have 2 Detrivores and a Mountain, because when we were testing, if they have anything except the Riptide Pilfer and the Shadow Mage Infiltrator plan, then it really just comes down to Urza's Factory.
Sure.
So Detrivore is a real problem for that, helps win that war.
I've not seen that deck elsewhere.
And then a couple of Extirpates, just you know, if the games go along, usually you want to get their teachings or whatever to take away some of their card advantage.
Okay.
And then the fourth teachings, a dismal failure for another counter, so you can kind of vary your counters against their extirpates, and another pull from eternity against their chronicler or a greater gargadon.
Now, who'd you work with for this event? What was the team that put this together? This is mostly yours, it sounds like.
Yeah, I came up with pretty much the whole outline for the deck. I came up with taking the red out and putting the white in.
Yep.
And I did a little work on it. The mana was a little off, and then I'd just been testing a lot. So I took a break, sent everyone on the mailing list, which was like Richard Hohen, Johan Sagapor, Matthias Kettle, Gabriel Nassif,
Sure.
Antonio DeRosa, Ben Rubin, John Fiorello. I just sent them out the list and said, just test it. You know, it's really good. You guys want to try it. And then Johan and Richie got back to me in a few days, said we fixed the mana. They took out some planes, added some calciform pools, which was a lot better. And I think they might have changed one or two of the spells in the deck. I can't really remember.
Now, would you recommend this for the PTQ season that's coming up?
Yeah, I think it's a great choice for the PTQ season. It'll be hard to see how the format goes because it always changes a decent amount after the Pro Tour.
Sure.
But
Future Sight coming in.
as far as a Teferi deck, I think this is one of the best builds.
I think a really good example of the power of this deck was, I was watching your match this last round on table 1 against Dane Young, and he seemed to have a great position. He got a Stormbind in under one of your counter spells, you had to counter something else, and he landed a Stormbind, and he's just sitting there, and you're dead in a couple of turns, but you seem pretty calm, like, obviously Mark's got something going on. Can you describe how you won that game?
Yeah, he got an early Stormbind in, and he I'm assuming he thought he was sneaking it through or whatever, because I countered an acid loss or something, and he got Stormbind in, but I disenchanted my hand. So I just sat back, let him pitch all of his cards and started shocking me. Got down to about 5 life. He had like 1 card left in his hand, disenchanted the Stormbind, sat back on all my removal and counter spells in my hand.
Well, seems like the deck's been working for you. Seems like you've been playing it really well. Great shape to make top 8, all but clinch. So good luck the rest of the way. Sounds like we'll probably see you on Sunday. Good luck then.
All right, thanks
a lot, Mark.
For Mark Herberholz and Brian David Marshall, this is Randy Bueller signing off from the Tournament Center.
Don't miss out on your chance to crack open new Future Sight product the day it hits stores. Future Sight release tournaments hit stores near you the weekend of May 4th. Ask your retailer if they are holding the release tournaments and show up to get your exclusive foil, Storm Entity.